We continue to follow breaking news out of Colorado. At least 7 people hurt in a shooting at a school outside Denver. There may still be one suspect at large. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Mark Boyle has been on top of this story since our 4 o'clock news. He joins us now in the live center with what we know at this hour. Mark?
7, possibly 8 people hurt in this school shooting. These are live pictures coming in from a stormy afternoon there in the southern area of Denver, Colorado. According to investigators there on scene, the shooting happened just a couple of hours ago, and students inside the STEM school Highlands Ranch actually took that shooter down. Take a listen to what this mom had to say.
I don't know how we thank them. I think this could have been a whole lot worse if it hadn't been for these brave students who acted immediately.
And here's some video from the scene, and we do want to confirm we are going to update that number on your screen. It is now 8 hurt in this school shooting. We're trying to figure out the ages of those hurt, and we do know that the shooters, the 2, are in custody, believed to be juveniles in this case as well. This is a school of K-12, about 2,000 students there on campus. You can see it's certainly chaotic there this afternoon. Back here in the live center, I want to show you some of the social video. Take a look at this video right here taken from across the street. Right then, as the shooting happened, people swarmed that area. In this video right here, you can see it was certainly a very active scene as people were taking the situation very serious as parents are trying to get there. Now, the police there on the scene are bringing school buses in, and they're loading those buses up, and they're taking them off campus to reunite with their parents. But the very first stories we're getting out of this breaking and developing story is some of those middle school students took down those shooters. There are no school officers on this campus. We are told when those officers arrived, they actually heard shots being fired and took the shooters into custody. Back to you.
So close to Columbine High School, our hearts just go out to that community. Mark, we're going to check back in with you in about 15 minutes to see what's new. Thanks.
We take our newscast now to a place where many of us spend a lot of our time, in the car. Many of you are there right now. When we're driving, we do things like talk on the phone. We may have a morning cup of coffee or a sandwich. But if those things distract you, under a law passed by the State House today, you could be fined. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joins us now live from why lawmakers took this route. Laura?
David, you know, we've all seen it. That car in front of you that's kind of drifting around in its lane, or the driver in front of you at the green light who doesn't notice that the light's turned. You just know they're looking at their phones, right? Well, some lawmakers were hoping to ban that, but the bill got watered down substantially. Everyone knows it's dangerous to be texting or looking at your phone behind the wheel. Yet a lot of us do it anyway, like Christopher Bailey and Lisa Scott.
I'll be honest, I have been guilty of it. But honestly, being that I have little ones, I'm very more cautious about it than I used to be.
I think it's very dangerous. I can't say I don't do it and don't have it in my hand, and I have it for my GPS all the time.
Some lawmakers wanted to put an end to that by banning handheld phones behind the wheel, period. Phones would have to be mounted on the dashboard. Georgia recently passed that law, and Representative John Hardister said it's working.
Other states, I believe there's somewhere between 15 to 20 other states that have done this, and they've all seen a decrease in traffic fatalities.
But some conservative Republicans objected. Representative Dana Bumgardner called it a nanny state bill.
Either the government's going to get in your car and ride around with you and watch what you're doing, or not.
The latest version creates a new charge for distracted driving. If an officer sees you driving unsafely because you're distracted, you could be fined, but it wouldn't count toward insurance or license points. Representative David Rogers said it's a feel-good bill that doesn't actually do anything.
It would be against the law to use your cell phone only if it results in reckless driving. Reckless driving is already against the law.
Supporter Representative David Lewis admitted the bill isn't as strong as he was hoping, but it's better than doing nothing.
This will bring heightened awareness to people. It already has. I'm already more cognizant when I'm in my own car.
The bill now goes to the Senate, where lawmakers could decide to strengthen the bill again. Polling shows About 4 out of 5 North Carolinians believe it's time for lawmakers to do something about it. Back to you, David.
Passionate debate there. Laura Leslie live at the Legislative Building. Laura, thank you. Well, the reason we're seeing such a flurry of activity Thursday is a self-imposed deadline for lawmakers to get bills passed. Laura and Travis Fain will catch you up with what's going on Jones Street on the WRAP. You'll find it on WRAL.com in the @NC Capitol section.
A convicted killer will get a new trial. In a 2-1 ruling, the State Court of Appeals threw out the life sentence for a Raleigh man convicted of killing a man outside of his home in 2016. WRAL's Sloan Heffernan is live with reaction from the victim's mother. Sloan?
Chad Coakley, the man who had his life sentence thrown out, remains here at Central Prison tonight as the process unfolds. I spoke with the victim's mother today over the phone. She says getting through each day since her son's murder has been a chore. Getting the news about the appeal today has been like reliving the nightmare. When Chad Coakley was found guilty of murdering 20-year-old Corin Thomas, Thomas's mother thought justice had been served. A Court of Appeals decision to throw out that conviction has rocked her world again.
She feels as though her child died a second time. I think any mom in this situation would feel the same way.
Coakley was sentenced to life without parole after shooting Thomas to death in 2016. Thomas was leaving a house party on Single Leaf Lane when he was shot in front of Coakley's home. Coakley claimed he heard a disturbance in front of his house and was trying to protect his family.
He testified at trial about how terrible of a day he was having. He was angry at the world, angry at his wife.
In a 911 call played for jurors during the trial, Coakley complained about hoodlums in his neighborhood. He told the dispatcher he was locked and loaded. According to the appeal court ruling, the prosecutor's argument during trial that Coakley shot Thomas because he was black is not supported by any evidence.
No one made this about race except Chad Coakley.
Coakley will remain in jail for now until the case is sent back to trial court. Thomas's family attorney says they'll keep fighting until a conviction sticks.
Some people get justice immediately, depending on how you look or where you're from or how much money you have, and others have to fight for it.
The clerk for the appellate court tells me that the earliest that Wake County will receive the appeals court ruling is May 28th. We, of course, will continue to follow this developing case. Back to you.
Sloan Heffernan live in Raleigh. Thank you, Sloan. The tiny house concept is coming to downtown Durham in the form of condos. The space is small and so is the price. WRAL's Sarah Kruger shows us just how small coming up. And the next round of the Stanley Cup playoffs is set when the Canes play their next game, coming up in sports. Mike?
Definitely excited about that. Excited about how fine the weather is today. We say hello to you folks up at Lake Gaston, enjoying a great afternoon. Looking at a little bit of cloud cover there, but there's something in the evening sky to the west I want you to check out. We'll explain what it is and forecast coming up.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on a new system. Progressive Heating and Air. We'll be here to answer the call.
First one at the job site. Last one to leave. Day in, day out. For the last 42 years straight. Ford F-Series. The model employee.
Get F-150 with 0 for 72, plus first responders, active military, veterans, and retirees get $1,000 appreciation cash on F-150 and Ranger. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
I'm Norman Kellum of the Kellum Law Firm. If you get us to help you with your personal injury case, we're also going to help you with your property damage claim for your wrecked vehicle. We don't charge anything extra for this, and we're glad to help you. So give us a call at 1-800-ACCIDENT, and we'll be with you all the way.
With you all the way. Hendrick.
At Hendrick, we give you more. More selection, more savings.
Live look again at this scene of a school shooting in Colorado. This is just south of Denver at a charter school. You can see it appears to have rained in the last few minutes. We now know at least 8 people are hurt and 2 suspects are in custody. We have a mother telling us students took down the gunman, keeping this scene from becoming even worse. Ambulance are still on the scene trying to take the injured away. We will keep you updated with the latest information.
Well, 3 towns here in Wake County are joining forces to get emergency help to your door more quickly. Apex, Cary, and Morrisville announced the partnership today, and beginning today, the 3 towns will now dispatch emergency services out of Cary's 911 center. Apex and Morrisville had been using the Wake County Center, and this brings the calls closer to home. Cree is ready to invest more than $1 billion in Durham. The company made its name with LED lighting. The CEO said the company will change its focus. Over the next 5 years, Cree will pour resources into growing its Wolfspeed silicon carbide chip, turning its Durham facility into what Cree called a mega factory. The company will also work with local community colleges and universities, preparing people for new jobs that will come with the expansions.
2 new judges will be put on the State Court of Appeals this week. Christopher Brook was formally installed this afternoon. Brook most recently served as legal director for the state chapter of the ACLU. He's also worked for the Southern Coalition for Social Justice and in private practice. Governor Cooper appointed him to one of 2 open seats earlier this month. The other appointee is Reuben Young, who served as Secretary of Public Safety. He will officially join the court on Thursday. A new school and teacher supplements, those are all factored into the proposed property tax hike for Chatham County. The county manager asked for a more than 4-cent hike for every $100 in property value. That adds up to an extra $84 a year if you own a $200,000 home. The extra money will help fund services to accommodate the county's growth.
When we come back, we'll check back with Mark Boyle in the Live Center for an update on the breaking situation in Colorado. And we'll head to downtown Durham, becoming a hot place to live, and developers are responding. We'll show you how a new set of condominiums is making the most of small space at a small price.
You can find it almost anywhere. There's CBD in gummies and in brownies. And coming up tonight on WRAL News, I'll explain a little bit more about this growing industry here in the Triangle, plus how it's regulated, what is legal. I'm Casey Cunningham, and I'll see you tonight on WRAL News.
And we're back in the Live Center this afternoon with some video from the scene of this shooting there just south of Denver, Colorado at the STEM Academy. And we know at least 8 students are hurt, or possibly adults. So at least 8 people hurt. We know 2 people, juveniles, are in custody. This is just about 15 miles south of Denver. I want to show you as well. This is the update right here from the sheriff's office. The STEM shooting sheriff there will be conducting a media briefing in about 20 minutes at the staging area. The school where this happened, K through 12th grade, about 2,000 students on campus. We are told some of the people in this school took down at least one of the shooters. Much more on this developing story happening just south of Denver coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News following WRAL. Back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Could you live in 400 square feet? How much would you pay for it?
Sounds like a studio in Manhattan. Well, a Durham developer is banking that the answer to the first question is yes, and the answer to the second is upward of $150,000. Cityport Condominiums will move in where a law firm now stands at the intersection of Yancey and South Duke. The selling point, smaller, but at smaller prices. WRAL Sarah Kruger shows us why many people in Durham believe this is a great idea.
Condos and townhomes are going up all over downtown Durham, but the one planned for this lot behind the old Durham Police headquarters is different.
We're really proud of being able to introduce this to the market.
Developer Scott Harmon says the idea behind Cityport condominiums is simple: smaller prices for smaller units. How small? As small as 400 square feet. Let's give you an idea of what 400 square feet looks like. With the help of Drone 5, you can see that here coned off. A studio unit of this size goes for about $158,000. That comes out to around $391 per square foot. Some people would say that is not affordable.
But in terms of that cost per square foot relative to the other things that are being developed in downtown right now, it's definitely more affordable.
Real estate broker Jeff Goldman says the developer is right.
I think it's actually, comparatively speaking, a value, and I think they'll sell very quickly.
Data shows new construction downtown has been going for $400 to $600 a square foot. I asked people in Durham what they think of the price. Most say it's a bargain.
I think that could be considered a good deal for the area. Yeah, that seems low for Durham. It's a very small place.
But was that something you would be willing to pay?
No, absolutely not. I mean, no. Not even close.
Although it may be a small space, the developer says it'll allow more people to afford downtown.
Everyone wants access to downtown. Downtown belongs to everyone.
Sarah Kruger, WRAL News, Durham.
Cityport will have 43 units in the building. They range from those 400 square foot studios beginning at $158,000 to 3-bedroom units that are about 1,200 square feet at $500,000. The units are for sale already. The developer says he has already received a lot of interest. Sure. And people aren't just moving here. The state is also drawing more tourists here.
And the tourism industry set new records last year. Numbers out today show more than 51 million visitors came to North Carolina in 2018. They spent more than $25.3 billion. That's a new record. So was the number of jobs tourism supported in the state, 230,000.
You know, going back to that 400 square feet.
Yeah.
That's about the size of the weather center.
Yeah, very tiny.
It really is.
Well, and you live there, so.
Some nights you do live there.
We got cots in the back, you know, we just kind of get a little mini fridge, you know, we got it.
You put
all the comforts of home.
Yeah, you put an ocean with that 400 square feet.
Perfect.
I'm there.
It's very doable then, isn't it?
And a pretty day down east of the coast.
Oh, yeah.
A pretty day here, too. And it's only going to get nicer if you like warmer and more humid weather. Now, a moment ago, I talked about looking at the evening sky just to the west, and there's a little light show. You have to look for the moon and the Mars encounter after sunset. Look to the west. 1 hour after sunset, you'll actually see what we call the waxing crescent moon. In fact, I got a call from a viewer. His name is Drew from Sanford last night asking if there was a lunar eclipse. It kind of looks like that because what you see is the little crescent, and then the rest of the moon, which should be dark, is lit by Earth shine. It's the light from the sun that's reflected off the Earth, and it lights up the moon a little bit. So it looks like that little, what they call God's thumbnail. Mars will sit next to the crescent moon, and it will be visible at least through 11 o'clock. That's when the moon will set. So if you've got some free time this evening, look to the west. You'll see the moon and Mars encounter. So we say good evening, Apex. You're looking at mainly clear sky, a few fair weather cumulus clouds after a high of 79. We're at 79 right now. The dew point 56. Felt so good outside. We did weather out there earlier this afternoon. Amy at 4 and 5:30, myself at 5 o'clock. Felt pretty good in the shade underneath the crepe myrtle trees out front. 77 at Clarksville, 76 at South Hill, 80 at Wilson, 79 right now at Siler City. We head farther south, Fayetteville, you folks at 84 today. Tomorrow a little bit warmer than today. 79 at Sanford, currently 80 right now at Goldsboro. And we expect a pleasant evening, about 75 by 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock 72, and by 11, 69. Now we have high pressure upon us. That's why the weather was so nice today, but it's a different story off to the west. And it's the big weather story today. And all across the plains, central and southern plains, you see all those red boxes. Those are tornado watches in effect. And I don't know if you could see the little yellow polygons. Of course, you can't see them if you're listening to us on Mix 101.5, but there are pink polygons, tornado warnings, yellow polygons, severe thunderstorm warnings. There is likely to be an outbreak of tornadoes tonight. That's the big weather story. Severe storms, tornadoes likely, damaging winds, and also some large hail. And we'll talk more about what happened this afternoon there on Fox 50 at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock on WRAL. But there is a major risk, a level 4 risk for severe weather across the panhandle of Texas this evening and Oklahoma. Tomorrow, the threat shifts to the east. There's a level 3 threat. And also on Thursday, there's a threat moving through the deep south. And by the time that system gets to us over the weekend, the system will be in a weaker state. But it looks like Sunday could be a day where we could see some strong storms. Now, when I'm putting the forecast forecast together. I jot down some notes, so we call these weather notes, thoughts about the weekend. There are timing differences amongst models, and what it's looking like, Saturday could end up being a drier day. Sunday could be the wetter day of the weekend. There could be some temperature changes depending on cloud cover and rainfall. So Saturday could be the warmer day, Sunday could be the cooler day, and it's not a washout from what I see right now, and we could be looking at some strong to maybe severe storms on Sunday. So it's kind of our first look at what we expect this weekend. Comfortable tonight, upper 50s to low 60s, 61 in Raleigh. Tomorrow morning for your commute, 63 with partly cloudy skies, maybe some low clouds and fog in some locations. And then tomorrow is low to mid 80s, maybe 78 at Roxborough, 83 Raleigh, 85 in Fayetteville. Check out your 7-day forecast. More heat, more humidity for Thursday and Friday, 83 Thursday, 84 on Friday. Right now we'll go 80 on Saturday with a chance for storms, but I'm thinking right now Sunday would be the wetter of 2 days. In fact, we may go through much of Saturday without rain like we did this past Saturday.
Just rinse and repeat.
Yes.
Here we go again. Thank you.
All right, now we know.
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah.
At least when the
I've
first
missed
game
it.
is.
Yes.
Still waiting on the second game. I mean, Rod Brindamore didn't even know today at noon when they were going to play, such as the NHL. So we do know, and we'll give you the who, what, when, where, and why for the Hurricanes, and it does not include home ice, unfortunately.
Tonight is all new on WRAL. At 8, it's an all-new episode of The Village. Then find out who moves on to the semifinals with the live eliminations on The Voice at 9, followed by an all-new New Amsterdam at 10 and WRAL News at 11. WRAL Sports starts now.
It is finally official. The Carolina Hurricanes will open the Eastern Conference Finals in Boston Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Now, there's been no announcement about when Game 2 will take place. At least this morning, the Canes knew who they would be playing. They all watched last night when Boston went up 3-0 on Columbus. They knew they were going to face the Bruins then. Not that they were pulling for either team, but what they were hoping was to have home ice advantage. That would have required Columbus to win the series, but the Canes, by the way, have done well opening on the road in the first 2 series.
Yeah, I got really upset last night. Not the fact that we wouldn't, but I was expecting not to have it throughout the playoffs anyway. If we'd have gotten it, it would have been a huge bonus. Obviously playing in front of our fans, we've instilled a really good home ice advantage here, but everything's reset back to 0 again for the 3rd time.
And obviously, if Columbus would have won the series, we would have had home ice, which would have been nice. But at the end of the day, we're going to do what we do, and like you said, chomp the bit, get back at it, and just sticking to what we do best.
Canes winger Saku Manalainen was a limited participant in practice today, but the fact that he was in a non-contact yellow jersey is a step in the right direction. He was injured in Game 2 against the Islanders. It's believed he had surgery on his hand, but has not been ruled out for the return in the Eastern Finals. Taking a look back at the regular season series with the Bruins, the Canes were 1-1-1 with 3 different guys in goal. Mrazek gets the win, McElhinney the OT loss, and in the 12th game of the season, Scott Darling gets his first start in goal in a 3-2 home loss to the Bruins. Dougie Hamilton scores on the power play, but 2 goals by Brad Marchand ties it and then wins it in the 3rd. 2 days before Christmas, the Canes break out the Whalers green on home ice. It's an active second period with Sebastian Aho scoring a shorthanded goal to tie it, and then the go-ahead goal about 6 minutes later. Justin Falk and Teuvo Teravainen right here add to a 3-2 win, the lone W over the Bees. Keep it green on March 5th in Boston. Aho nets his 28th and 29th goals of the year. In the 3rd, Justin Williams sends it to overtime. There, David Krejci will send the home folks happy. That's the regular season, folks. Bigger stakes are on the grill right now, though. We've got you covered on multiple platforms of the Canes trip to Boston. I've never been to Beantown, but we will be there to greet the Canes tomorrow when they arrive. Our TV coverage begins at 6 o'clock. You'll find unique content and interviews on WRALSportsFan.com. And 99.9, the Fan's Adam Gold is making the trip to Boston to provide his perspective. One more item to tell you about John Forsland, who's been calling on NBC and NBCSN. He's going to return to the radio on 99.9, so you'll hear a familiar voice.
The best voice in the business for hockey.
No doubt about it.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us. Nightly News is next with new information coming out of Colorado.
In fact, we have just learned buses are dropping off students to be reunited with their parents at a community center. We will track this story for you tonight at 10 on Fox 50 and at 11 here on WRAL. Have a good night.